Good evening. So, here we go, as they say. The new season is underway, and all over the country, football fans are hoping it's their turn for success. Newcastle United are back in the big time. There's no shortage of confidence at St James's Park. Spurs were the visitors today, and they reckon it's about time their boat came in. Last season's sixth place wasn't good enough for Liverpool supporters. They're hoping for better. Sheffield Wednesday fans were at Anfield, but whichever team you support, until 3 o'clock today, everyone was equal. Liverpool, Sheffield Wednesday, Newcastle Spurs, tonight's featured games. But as ever, we've got all the goals on Match of the Day. We've got all the saves. And we've got all the celebrations. Promoted Swindon now aim to get off the mark at home to Oldham next Wednesday. The manager who left them in the summer had a game himself today. Chelsea's new player manager is Glenn Hoddle, and he's given himself squad number 20 for this season. The visitors at Stamford Bridge were Blackburn Rovers.
One or two of the opening day's fixtures were all but overshadowed by football landmarks. The return of Glenn Hoddle to the top flight of the English game after a 6-year absence was the most eagerly awaited. At 35, Hoddle returned as the Chelsea sweeper against Blackburn. His grace and touch have survived the years stylishly. But his challenge now is to combine his past mastery with a more pressing job of creating a successful team in his own image. There were moments today when the likes of Wise, Spencer and Peacock were combining brightly when all seemed set fair. David May denying Peacock a flying start. But Blackburn continually created the clearer chances. Kevin Gallagher had half of West London to himself, but he went for an early chip and holed out to keeper Karine. Chelsea's best opening of the first half was the product of a calamitous mix-up between May and Mims. Number 12 Nicky Marker to the rescue, with Cascarino breathing down his neck. Even without the rapidly convalescing Alan Shearer, there's a cut and a thrust about the attack Kenny Dalglish has assembled. Mike Newell had a couple of good chances before the break. But 3 minutes into the second half, Chelsea got their season into gear with a goal to really whet the Bridge appetites. Gavin Peacock, Hoddle's major summer signing, had more than a hand in it, freeing John Spencer to stretch the Blackburn defence. And when eventually Dennis Wise arrived on the scene to provide a cutting edge with a terrific cross, Peacock reappeared, beating Bobby Mims's hand with a crashing header. It should have been the starter for more, but it was as good as the day got for Chelsea. They led for 15 minutes. A second goal in that period might have done the trick. Peacock showing off his entire repertoire, almost obliged. Ironically, it was a former Chelsea player, Graham Lasso, who engineered Blackburn's reply. Stuart Ripley pouncing between Hoddle and Sinclair in forthright fashion. Karine exposed and unable to prevent the drive flying clean through him. Blackburn looked the more likely to clean up. They did so with 12 minutes to spare. Karine failed to cope with Ripley's cross, and Mike Newell was the man in pole position. As Chelsea chased the game, Hoddle moved up into midfield, but the damage had been done. His look on the final whistle told its own story, but it's the manager's job to recount that story to all the waiting microphones.
We've lost our way in the second half when we should be dominating the game. At 1-0 up, we've actually started losing the reins on the game, which is a little bit alarming at the moment, and we've got to make sure that doesn't happen again.
How much can you influence the team at a time like that?
Well, if you have got an influence, obviously, when you're out there, talking wise and with the ball, but there was things that were disappointing, and perhaps, you know, in hindsight would have done something different, but it's always easy in hindsight.
Obviously, you need a tremendous amount of help, because if you're going to play, you need to rest, you need to train, you need to rest. You've got to look after yourself. And he's got to find a happy medium, I would think, between the matches that he watches and preparing for his own matches he's going to play in. Only Glenn will find that out for himself. But I'm sure he's shown at Swindon that he's capable of doing it. And I just hope that somebody with his ability and talent can find a happy medium for himself that's going to be successful for Chelsea.
Yeah, he's still got that ability and talent, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he plays in a good position that gets him the room to play. But once he gets it to his feet, he certainly can hurt you with a pass.
Norwich City.